My mom was a wordsmith, a crossword puzzle addict, a voracious reader, especially of mystery novels, which you heard Mary talk about, a Scrabble champion, and a great writer. Obviously, this is why she made such a great teacher. She loved literature and language, and her enthusiasm was contagious. I remember talking to her about her career choice and listening to her lament the fact that women had so few choices when she was young. She said basically, I could be a secretary, a teacher, or a nurse. But that what she really wanted to do was work for a big publishing house and eventually write a novel. Last year, after spending Christmas all together at my sister's house in Nebraska, Mom came home and began to write some reflections on her life. And unfortunately, she never finished them, but I think what she did complete is so quintessential Mom. Funny and witty, brave and tough and touching all at once. And I wanted to share them with you because I feel they are life lessons that many of us could stand to learn from. So I apologize if I tear up. I've read them many times, but so the first one is called Thinking Ahead. It's January 2011. The millennium has come and gone without a glitch, despite all the doom predictors. And today I bought a box of Christmas cards for 75% off. I could never pass up a great bargain. And I'm planning to send them out in December 2011. I also buy green bananas. Just because statistics give you 2 to 5 years doesn't mean you have to go along with them. I figure someone has to make it at least 10 years to balance out those that don't get past 1. And Mom made it 6.5 years, even though the statistics were 2 to 5. So she worked really hard to stay with us as long as possible. And the next vignette is called Moving the Bowls, and some of my relatives will really appreciate this. I'm an Eastern girl, born, raised, and educated, the product of a small Western Pennsylvania town who couldn't wait to get out of there. So here I am, having lived in Nevada all my adult life. Nevada, where everything is legal except fireworks. If they could have, I believe my parents would have moved west. My mom loved the slots. My dad claimed his arthritic hands were almost free of pain when he visited. He loved the dry heat and enjoyed the spaciousness of Western living. My mom, on the other hand, felt it was her job to be useful when she came to visit. Sewing a valance for the sunroom, hemming the clothes on the bottom of the laundry basket, and of course, relegating me once again to the status of baby, the youngest of 3 sisters. She took over the kitchen, whipping up great meals while complaining that she couldn't understand why I kept my bowls in a certain cupboard. She never let an opportunity pass her by to point this out. So after dealing with the matter for several years of the visit, I decided to move the bowls when Mom came to visit. Needless to say, she was delighted that I finally admitted that she was right all along. The bowls were exactly where she said they should be. Of course, the first thing I did when her visit was over was to put the bowls right back where they had been to start with. However, for 2 weeks or so, they were moved to a place that made my mother happy, and it made me happy too. So now when I accommodate someone with differing opinions than my own, I simply call it moving the bowls. Perhaps the world would be a better place if we were all willing to move the bowls. I wonder if the U.S. Congress would consider it. Nah. This is just a sentence that was in part of her writings. It says, stop worrying about subject-verb agreement when you watch a commercial or a news report. You're the only one that cares, except perhaps another English teacher. This one is for Dad. Putting up the outside Christmas lights. If this is going to cause even the slightest problem in your marriage, forget about outside Christmas lights. Who really cares? Plus, the neighborhood men will be extremely jealous. What brownie points for your spouse? And we never had outside Christmas lights. I don't ever remember them. Ignoring the fur. We have a wonderful yellow lab named Max. He's total entertainment for us, and he rules the house. Sleeps on the bed in the guest room whenever he's not on ours, and has a variety of looks to express how he's feeling. He also sheds. We've swept and vacuumed up enough hair in the past 5 years to build another dog. I have put away any and all black clothes in my wardrobe, only to be worn when I'm out of state on vacation. I did not heed her warning that I have dog hair all over me. Would I like being dogless? Of course not. Several years ago, my answer would have been yes. But when one faces serious illness, priorities change. A bit of fur and dust never destroyed anyone, I think. Forgetting the guilt. Feeling guilty isn't useful to anyone, you, your family, your friends. No matter how many times you question your own behavior, nothing changes. I think the best thing about feeling guilty is that it forces you to do your best with what you have. It makes you want to be a better person, no secrets, no holding back. And this last one is titled Making Life Count. I believe I owe it to my family to stay around as long as possible. My daughters deserve to have a mother. My husband deserves to be treated well and with respect. I worry about who's going to take care of him, how will he cope with being alone, who will fold his t-shirts. She used to fold them into these like small rectangular little pieces of t-shirts. I don't know how she ever did it. Smoothing all the wrinkles out. Until I can find an answer to my questions, I'm not going. Since being diagnosed with breast cancer, I find that I'm not the only one whose attitude is altered. I only worry about what's important. I don't have time for pettiness and whining. The only ones allowed to whine are my grandkids. Having a serious illness allows you to find out who your true friends are. Many people are uncomfortable around sick people because they don't know how to behave, what to say, what to ask. Once you sort all this out, you can stop judging and get on with your life. That first spring and summer was difficult. I was scared and tired. Friends came by, some dropped off food, which was greatly appreciated. But the nicest gesture came from my neighbor. Jim is a person with a really good heart. I just never realized how good. He offered to plant my garden, knowing how much I love flowers. Could anything be more thoughtful? I was extremely touched and realized how important it was to have good people in your life. My girls are in close touch. I hear from them often. We laugh and exchange good mother-daughter conversations. I've never felt closer. I get to hear all the newest words and sounds the grandchildren make. My email is filled with the latest photos, and we were all together for Christmas in Nebraska. So what's the purpose of all this advice and observations? I think I just want to leave a little bit of me behind when I'm no longer here. I'd like people to remember me because I was a dedicated middle school teacher for 32 years. Someone has to like 13-year-olds. Remember me because I was so proud that both my daughters are great cooks. Of course, those college degrees are important, but cooking is fast becoming a microwave thawing occasion. Cooking is almost a lost art. Remember that I have 2 wonderful daughters who are contributing to make the world a better place. Remember that it is possible to have a good marriage after being told it wouldn't last. And for those of you who don't know, Mom and Dad eloped in 1964 in Goldfield, Nevada. Not exactly what the Catholic upbringing would have taught them to do. And that's where Mom's writings end. And last summer when I came to visit while Mom was in the hospital, she mentioned that she hadn't had the energy to plant her flowers again. But when I went into the backyard, I noticed that the years of work that Mom had done in her garden had paid off, and that there were hundreds of voluntary seedlings that had sprouted from the previous years of flowers. So I cultivated the soil and transplanted them into the flower boxes in the neat rows that she really liked all around the backyard. And within a few weeks, her garden looked like it had always when she was healthy, lush and full of her favorite flowers, marigolds, zinnias, and cosmos. I know that Mom continues to live on through the love that she gave her family and friends, through the wisdom that she left behind in her various writings, through the thousands of students whose lives she enriched, and through the flowers in her garden, which I know will continue to sprout for years to come. Mom tried and saved thousands of seeds from her flowers in big mason jars to ensure she never ran out, because she was always frugal and always planning ahead. And to honor her work and her love of gardening, I thought it would be nice for everyone here to have a chance to take a bit of Mom's garden home with you. And so I put together packets of seeds from her collection in the back of the set. Please help yourselves. Thank you for coming.